Mice and cloth mouse pads only really last a year. You won't know what mouse shape you truly prefer if you do not explore other shapes and take advantage of return policies. The display mouse might not be enough to know if it is right for you. Sometimes the mouse will be good when you first get it, but only after a while you notice some small things that you want to change. And this goes the same with mouse pads. At first the XM2WE was perfect for me, but after around a month I noticed the clicks had so much push travel, I could click my scroll wheel through the left and right mouse clicks. Even not counting the horrible post travel, the clicks felt pretty bad themselves. On a side note, I'm not sure if this is normal wear and tear, but there's also this part scratching off. I haven't noticed any trace of the material flaking off, so it could just be normal. I remember this wasn't the case with the Pulsar X2H Giyu mouse I got a while back. I didn't keep it because I didn't like that the hump was so high. I knew that the back hump for the XM2WE was a nice height, but way too wide for me. After long gaming sessions, my palm would feel strained in the area that holds the back hump. I also knew I could downsize a little bit, as I had so much room left with the XM2WE. After making shape comparisons on ELO shapes, I landed on the X2 Mini, but not the X2 Crazy Light Mini. I went with the X2 V2 Mini Nezuko edition on sale for Black Friday, or for clearance. Either way, it was $69.99 plus $16 in shipping. The X2 has the same hump shape as the XM2WE, but it is thinner around the back. Going with the X2 Mini maintained this hump shape while downsizing a tiny bit. This comes with the 4K adapter, which is convenient since I only need up to 2K for specific titles. And Demon Slayer is a favorite anime of mine. Now onto the main point of this video. Sure, I could have gotten the X2 Crazy Light, which would only be a couple bucks more, but that could last me a year before I end up having to replace it due to coding issues or normal wear and tear. But even if that wasn't a big problem and I just put grip tape over it, there might be something about the shape that I don't really like. I'm not a pro, so I only need something that is a decent upgrade from my last item, to the point where I have no complaints and it amazes me enough. And the X2 V2 Mini Nezuko 4K offers that. It's lightweight, has nice clicks, has a good sensor, and a shape that is pretty much perfect for my needs, at least for now. Not only is the back hump thinner, but the shape is overall smaller, which allowed me to shave a few extra grams and just have something that fits my hand better. This also gives me the room to try out fingertip grip, or just implement fingertip movement in general. I also probably could have gotten a better deal if I'd went with the normal X2 V2 Mini, and the 4K sensor isn't included, but it's not very important, and it actually makes it way more viable than spending a lot more for the current flagship. So I would honestly recommend you guys do this instead. Now on to the actual review. I have almost no complaints about the quality, however there were some paint and skate application issues. My PTFE skates were applied very poorly, which caused scratching, and the skate around the sensor lifts as it is being used. This forced me to temporarily switch to glass skates until my Ultra Glides arrived. On the topic of glass skates, they suck. They're affected way too easily by outside factors that you just can't really control. And maybe these skates work with specific pads, but I think for most pads, these will suck. And I would highly recommend just getting dot skates. Like, the bottom skate will be muddy, but the top one will be decent. It's so inconsistent. It negatively impacted my aim and just made me feel choppy, even though I knew I could aim better. And this is my second experience with glass skates, the first being the X2H Giyu. They may just be very situational, but even if they worked for specific pads, you would have to switch them out if you want to try a non-compatible pad. If you find they fit your endgame pad, then by all means, keep using them. But for most people, I'd say do not go out of your way to buy glass skates, and just order some PTFE skates. As for the paint issues, there's a bump on my left click which isn't really bothersome, but I could just sand that down or put some grip tape if I really wanted to. There's also a paint mark on the right click, which again isn't bothersome and you can't even feel it. And there's a paint error of some sort on the scroll wheel, which also doesn't affect performance at all. However, for a limited edition mouse, I would have liked to see more quality control go into it, especially for the skates. As for the pad, I really have no issues. I upgraded from an Aqua Control 2, which had more horizontal space than vertical space, because I bought the specific size for Valorant. The base for the Hyperion is very nice. The packaging is up there with Artisan and the stitching is low. It's a very good pad for what I bought it for, which was $30. The texture feels a lot more gentle compared to the AC2, which I would say is a plus for non-sleeve users. I have more vertical space, which is appreciated for what I play. I got the soft variant because that was what was left, and I don't really push my mouse in when aiming, so it shouldn't really matter. although getting the firm would have definitely been nicer and complemented my aiming style better. I chose it over the Saturn and Neptune pads because it offered the 500 by 500mm square. I heard that it had a quote-unquote open glide and was similar to the Artisan Zero, which I liked and was honestly fast enough for me, but that also could have been because my AC2 was slowed down. I really have no complaints for this pad, especially for the price that I got it. It's a nice upgrade from my AC2 and a step forward into my aiming preferences, but I will definitely be trying to upgrade to a Key 83 mid in the future, which I think will complement my aiming style and preferences a lot better. The Ultra Guide speeds gave this pad a lot more speed, and it's definitely making me like it a lot more. And it also makes me excited to try out the Key 83 mid. So when you're looking for your next peripheral purchase, do not leave previous generation peripherals out of the equation, because you may find a good deal, and it can act as a nice step into finding your endgame. While I could have definitely spent a few more dollars to get the latest mouse, there's a possibility that in the future I want something different. Maybe I end up not liking the small shape of the mouse, or maybe I want some more room for fingertip grip. Saving money in this regard is a little bit better because I get to use that money for other upgrades that will impact my performance than shaving a few grams off my mouse or getting 8K polling. If you're a pro, then feel free to try out all the latest and greatest peripherals. But if you're like me, a jobless student, then this might be a great way to spend your money. When you find out the shape and quality you prefer, you can get the latest version of that mouse and maybe get some grip tape for when the coating wears out. If you can choose between a collab version and a non-collab version, then just choose whatever is cheaper. And if you can buy the current flagship in store but not the previous generation, then you should also consider shipping prices. That's all for today's video, and thank you guys for watching.